Last winter, in a second-hand shop in the heavily snow-covered town of Wasserburg am Inn, I saw a pair of ankle boots. They were suede, copper-coloured and strung with leather laces, animal hide braided around their ankles. They were also entirely inappropriate for a German winter. From the start of December, Munich is covered in snow, and on the few warmer days it melts into sludge, which thoroughly penetrates any pair of shoes. These boots, with their delicate finish and dainty point, were not just unsuitable, they were also not really the kind of thing that matched the rest of my wardrobe with all of its eccentric colours. Regardless, I bought them for €19. It wasn't until the following night, as I slept, that an explanation for my absurd decision came to me. I dreamt of my new boots, and in my dream they had blades under their soles, carrying me, their owner, gracefully, elegantly over a glassy sheet of ice. In my dream I knew where I was, the mirror-smooth, frozen stretch of water in the Baltic city of Dorpat, as the Germans called it during the Empire, today known as Tartu, part of Estonia. Apart from the shoes, I wore a highly fitted, fur-trimmed winter coat with matching fur hat and muff. In short, I was a creature of the pre-turn of the century. My dream self nimbly escaped the many well-bred, hat-tipping gentlemen also present on the ice. She was a creature who would, after her nightly ice skating, warm herself by an open fire, a book in her lap. A creature who would sit demurely opposite Mother with her needlework, lost in thought staring at the flames, imagining in them oracles promising a good future. As soon as I awoke, I knew where the dream had come from. I could not remember the title, but could clearly see in my mind's eye the cover of a little book, one of the very few that my mother had brought with her from the former Königsberg in East Prussia. The cover had depicted a scene just like the one from my dream, lit by the mellow light of a gas lantern. The female ice skater in the book was of a marriageable age, unhappy, or at least dubiously in love, with a man of equally aristocratic German Baltic status. It was a love with all the embroilments, initiated not just by the persons concerned, but, as was the case in such high-profile unions, also by her parents. Her nightly ice skating provided the cathartic moment. Only out there, moving amongst the cold, against the frozen silhouette of the medieval city, did her problems dissolve in the nicest possible way. The reader was led towards a matrimony promised from page 1 of the book. Without doubt, the plot also captivated me as an adolescent, but above anything, it was the place. This distant, foreign Dorpat, which was so familiar in terms of the language, my mother tongue, German, held a promise for the 10-year-old me, that her life too would succeed, as smooth or as fragile as ice may be from time to time. But one ought to get things in motion. At the age of 10, things start to balance out. At the age of 10, all fractions end up even. 4 decades later, I undertook the long-awaited trip and flew to the Baltic states. I had learnt long ago that the ice under our feet is sometimes thick, sometimes thin, but it only truly holds us securely as a metaphor. In this respect, curiosity and disillusionment fused into one another. I visited Riga, Vilnius, Tallinn and the Kurland Spit. I did not understand a word of the 3 cryptic languages and still felt adept. No, I didn't go to Tartu, at least not in a geographical sense. But I travelled to the countryside and cities, which only had to be extrapolated from the childhood readings about the ice skater in Dorpat. I again recognised what I did not know before. Must I mention that I experienced all of this in the hot summer of the year 2010 in a pair of boots, suede, copper-coloured and strung with leather laces?